Because the committee must continue to do the work that was given to us to do, and then execute our tasks as expeditious as possible, but also to be fair to all members who have appeared before this committee. And then I think we should do that, Chair. And then I think then other issues really would be clarified as we deal point by point as a committee. Some of the issues are broad political statement. Some of the point is allegation against members. There's no evidence on that. And then as far as you know, there's evidence anyway. That is the main reason why the colleagues were charged, 20 of them, because there's evidence that they misbehave or there was a misconduct on the 21st of August. I think it's 21st of August. Just to ensure that I don't say September on August. Therefore, I think it's important. If he has evidence that many of us were also participating in a misconduct, he must present that evidence. He shouldn't come and make a just broad political statement. He's not really assisting us to do so. But I propose, Chair, let us deal with the 89 points that he's raising, and very systematically. And then I think we must rebut some of them because they're not accurate. And of course, I know he's a leader of the organization, was making a political statement for grandstanding purposes. It's fine. But the point that is put forward here, in my view, we wouldn't really be doing our job if the committee, as a committee, we don't deal with this and then rebut some of the point that is raising. Maybe there will be other evidence that is going to submit that, of course, qualifies why he makes so many allegations against some of our members. I think to me it's very important that we do so.
Yeah, I think his Honorable Boy made a proposal initially to say, before you look at that particular statement, let's have the evidence screened so that then we are empowered to actually look into this document. I thought that we needed to actually speak to that. Is it supported? So that we are empowered. What is there that the evidence that is in front of us, that's going to be put in front of us in terms of the audio-visual? And then does it answer some of the things or clarify some of the things so that when you go now to the document, at least then we can reflect on the content of the evidence that is available from the initiator. Honorable Filtain and Honorable Ngango.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
I would humbly submit as follows. Let's deal with Honorable Malema's presentation. Decide how we deal with that first. Put it aside. Because this was an intervention which we're entitled to accommodate in terms of the spirit in which we are supposed to conduct an inquiry. Deal with that, put it aside. And then we go now into the substantive matters regarding the accusations that have been labeled, against the members. Let's deal with this statement, make whatever remarks we want to make, conclusions and what have you, put that aside. So that we don't confuse, because I had a feeling that to an extent, as different from just a political statement, he was also defending. Now, he mixed issues when he makes a political statement and is also defending, the very accusations that have been labeled against, against the party members. So that's why I say, let's just deal with the statement separately, finalize it, and then we come to the actual trial in inverted commas, as it were. Then I think we will be on course. Thank you, Chair.
If I understand you, you are saying is we must first take a position how we handle the statement, not necessarily talking to the content of it, how we are going to handle this. Is that what you are saying?
We may even delve into the content, but let's leave out whatever he has said, which we regard as defense. Because now, he didn't say that he is defending the accused members. He said he's just making a presentation. So that's why I say let's leave that out. Let's decide how we want to deal with the statement and then deal with that. Okay. And then we go and take each member's case one by one. Thank you.
Is this a point of order?
Yes, Chairperson, this statement deals with substantially and trying to interpret what happened on that particular day. There's no way you could expect us to reflect on what happened. Because you see, if you go into the statement, it says you cannot wait to howl the whole opposition before the royal ruling party. Now, I don't understand what does that originate from. Is it the whole opposition that has been charged, or what is exactly going on? You can't say that we are the judges, we are the jury, we are the prosecutors, you see. And you see, you are clearly putting us in a very difficult position that when we arrive at the conclusion, how did you arrive at that? I'm just saying, Chairperson, the statement is not a small, minor statement. I agree, it does have made a lot of generality, but it does present, in terms of the law, a lot of legalities, because he is arguing a point that says there is natural justice. And natural justice does command upon us that we should be able to be fair, you see. And this is the statement they have concurred that they would want to present in front of us. And we should be able to work from that statement. But I'm also saying, because he is then concluding and saying some of the members, whilst he was inside the house as a witness, he is able to tell us about what happened outside. Now I'm saying we can only be witness to what Parliament has seen happening on that day and captured what is on the video, so that you could really see that was Honorable Bongo inside or outside, or how did he come to a conclusion to make a substantial statement in front of us that he has seen everything that has happened on the video.
On point of order.
So I'm just,
On point of order.
At the end of the day,
On point of
we
order.
need evidence.
On point of order. I think honourable member there is now dealing with the case and the presentation. And Honourable Mdangani also is saying it's a sweeping political statement which is contained here. Whereas statements were made from Lituli House, statements were made public about this pending case. And the Secretary General, as it appears here, of the ANC, said harsher measures must be taken against EFF members. Now, when we discuss those things here, we are already discussing this. And
So your point of order is that they must not discuss the content of the statement.
Yeah, but the manner in which they put this to say this political statement, when political statements were made out of Parliament by officials of the ANC. So it's going to give us a problem.
Okay, if you say they must not delve into the content of the statement, okay, it's fine. Let's hear Honorable Mwango, what you wanted to raise.
Well, thanks, Mr. Chairman. I thought that we were going to go through these 89 points and identify those points which other members feel that they are political statements, and identify also those issues, in my view, also have a direct bearing on the procedure and processes of this exercise, and then begin to deal with those. Because in my reading of this presentation, there are also very fundamental issues of procedure that is actually raising here. And we need to be very sure that we are actually on a safer ground as far as that is concerned. And there are also counter-accusations here. He's pointing fingers at certain individuals. And in this instance, the Speaker herself. Now, we cannot turn a blind eye and say, because we need to have, at the end of the day, an objective and a just and a credible outcome at the end of this process. We need to decide, look at all of those things and those issues and say whether we need to actually even entertain them at all, some of them here. So, Mr. Chairman, I feel that we quite honestly need to go through this document with a fine comb in terms of isolating those issues that we feel are political and those that are actually substantive matters that this committee need to deal with. And also say that, Mr. Chairman, at some point, I did actually allude to the point of saying that, to the point that at some point we should reach a stage where issues that we will be considering in this committee should be treated as sub judice. Because talking about them in public was actually going to put a lot of strain on the proceedings of this committee. I think I did actually, raise that point. So I would plead that we do so, Mr. Chairman. Now, isolate those issues in our deliberations, on this document.
Honorable members, I really need to be assisted. It looks like there is an agreement that the document must be looked at. But also there is a proposal that says, before we look at that document, to empower ourselves with the evidence that is available, so that when you look, we are able to talk to those points up to the end. There is I think there is no contradiction on looking at the document. It's just simply the proposal that has been made that says, let's look at the evidence so that when we reach those specific points on the presentation, then we are able to actually take appropriate decisions. Is that not assisting us to move forward?
As a follow-up, Mr. Chairman, I think that also, it helps us. It also, because there is a stage is going to come for this committee to even understand the charges that are put, on the members.
Yes.
We do not understand if we say they committed contempt of Parliament. We need to be clarified as to what does that mean. And so we need to look at the evidence that is there in order for us to actually be able to reflect, substantively on this document based on what we have seen, on what exactly happened on the 21st of August, and in relation to the charges that are actually preferred on the members. So the totality of the evidence that we will be looking there will assist us going forward in terms of discussing this document and also understanding the relevance of the charges that are actually preferred on the members.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Honorable Mdagan.
Chair, I'm not sure, though, whether it's possible to respond to this document now. I think because it's a very detailed document, maybe we should agree then that the veto should be put somewhere and we see what was happening in the chamber. Bearing in mind that really what happens outside, who says what outside Parliament, is not a business of this committee. Who says what outside Parliament, political parties, what they say outside Parliament, is not a business of this committee. Our task is to look at what happened on the 21st of August in the chamber. And then, therefore, evidence is about what happened in the chamber. What Honorable Bongo says somewhere in Mpumalanga, we got nothing to do with it. What we are looking for what is happened there. Then, therefore, the evidence is about that, Chair. I agree completely with Honorable Mwango that then once we have seen the captured video, what was happening there, we can then deal. I think also Honorable Boy was proposing that. We can also then deal with all these points, 89 of them, because that will assist us to have seen first to address some of the issues. It's possible, Chair, to do it now. We should do it.
All right. Honorable members, I'm not sure whether, because we may need to hear from the lawyers whether there is any input on the status that we are in. And after we have got that particular input, then we may need to break for lunch. And then after lunch, then I think the video should have been set up for us to come and watch. I'm sure it's a maximum of 1 hour or 2 hours. And then we should be clear on what has happened. Advocate Jenkins.
Thank you, Honourable Chair, honourable members. Just on the question of the submission by Honourable Malema.
Yeah.
I think where we need to start is to say, look, the procedure in this committee must be reasonable and procedurally fair. That's what the Act requires. Now we have a schedule And the only place where this statement or the submission from Honourable Malema fits in is number 4, which allows a member to make an explanation or verbally or in writing to the charges. So this is where we are now. This is not, if one goes further into the schedule, then there's a portion for a hearing where both the member or members charged can call witnesses as well as the initiator. And these witnesses can be examined and cross-examined by the chairperson, by the committee members, as well as the members being charged. So that's the procedural and reasonable fairness of the process. Now, all I want to advise the committee on is this document cannot go through that latter part. This cannot be cross-examined because the author as well as the EFF members have walked out. And they haven't submitted this as evidence. And as you said in the beginning, the evidence must be given under oath. You said you want to put the witnesses under oath, which has a specific implication. I mean, not only are you then protected from further civil and criminal liability except for perjury, but there's also an assurance that what you say to the committee will be correct, and you verify that it's correct. So that's a specific legal process we go through, putting a document in an affidavit or under oath or a witness under oath. So this status document, I do want to urge the committee to pay attention to it. This is, as far as from what I saw this morning, we're going to get to a possible explanation of what happened on 21 August. But this is not, as such, verifiable testimony and evidence that went through that process that's envisaged in paragraph 7 and 8 of the schedule. So it's between a rock and a hard place. It's not neither here nor there, but it is something the committee needs to pay attention to, and it's all the committee actually has at this point in time from the members being charged. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Honourable members, I think we have heard Advocate Jenkins on the status of a document in relation to the schedule. Can we then adjourn for lunch and then we come back at 2 o'clock and then we'll get everything set up here so that then we can proceed with the work as we have agreed. And lunch, I think it is at the holding room where we were. Yes, and then if we could walk there and have the lunch and then, yeah? E222.
Chairman, can we leave our documents here?
I think the staff must just sort out the issue of locking up.
Okay.
And then the media is invited. What's the story?
To the meeting?
No, to lunch. You did cater for the members, this one. So, but then you're going to have over supply of food.
Yeah, okay. Where are the guys now?
Yeah?
I'm not...